Welcome, everybody. We start off our special meeting for budget review of March the 16th, 2026. We're acknowledged this afternoon that we're again gathered on Treaty 5 territory, which is traditional lands and ancestral lands of our neighbors of Basque Free Nation, as well as many others indigenous people, and the homeland of the Indian Nation. So with that, I'll call the meeting to order. Somebody should have a resolution to adopt the agenda.
Resolution number 2026-042, moved by myself, seconded by moved by Councillor Allen, seconded by myself. Resolved that the agenda be adopted as presented.
Any further comments? Seeing none, call the question. All in favor? Opposed? None opposed, carried. Yeah, so just before we get started, just as a note, Councillor Hopper has sent his regrets. So I guess this afternoon, we're just sort of coming together for, as we get closer to the end of our journey through the municipal budgeting process. And I know people that are watching online, you know, this is one of the most important things that the municipal council does with the administration, is really to go through all the work that's been done and ensure that, you know, we are delivering the services that our community members look for, but also keeping the balance of the impact on the taxpayers. So, you know, as I mentioned, in the past, there's been the last several months, our administration and council have been meeting around the budget. There's been lots of meetings. I know I want to just, I'm sure I speak for all of council that, you know, we appreciate all the heavy lifting that the administration does, as we've been asking lots of questions and forget sometimes what we already asked the question, and they come back to us. So we do appreciate all the work that they're doing, and also all the heavy lifting that they're doing. But I also want to recognize something that happens that we don't maybe speak a lot about all the time, is sort of all the other things. We're looking at numbers and we're looking directly at expenses, but we also don't see the work that our staff is doing behind the scenes on just continuously improving to try to lower our costs and our expenses to deliver those services, as well as, you know, all the work that's been done on chasing grants, which really is most time about 50-cent dollars. So, you know, the things that we're trying to do, it just makes it a lot more affordable for our community. So again, thanks for everything so far. And with that, I'll pass it over to Laura to sort of walk us through where we're at today.
Okay, so after all the changes and discussions that we're having with council, I just wanted to bring to your attention kind of where we're sitting at for an overall mill rate right now. So if you take a look here, residential mill rate will be at 56.942. Again, that's including all school taxes, so it's overall mill rate. Now compared to last year's, which was 57.687, we're a decrease of 0.745 mils, which is a 1.29% decrease overall. And with our commercial, we're at 1.296% decrease. So what that looks like as far as actual taxes go, so again, this is residential and commercial separately. So everyone will see a slight reduction in their taxes. Now, this doesn't have the special service levy built into it. We don't know how that, or if that's going to be approved yet. So we're waiting to hear back from the municipal board on that, which we've requested an extension for our budget. Now, in saying that, if we were to consider some of the dates that we previously discussed, let me just bring that up here for you to see. We originally had the public hearing set for May 5th. So I'm proposing that the public hearing date be moved to June 17th. With second and third reading be a regular council on June 22nd to see if we can get an answer from the municipal board for that special service levy.
Well, makes sense. We already extended the deadline anyway, so it doesn't really matter overall, other than when we're meeting and when you post, right?
It just pushes the property tax, printing and billing back a
Yeah.
little bit, and it makes it a tight deadline for the August 31st, due dates. But we have done it in the past and like to do it, but, and I mean, if we do hear back from the municipal board prior to that, and we've got enough time to put out our 40-day notice, we can move up
Yeah.
the hearing. Does council have any objections to that?
I hope I just hope that it can be prior.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a month,
But just so everybody understands though, so we're clear, like, just because the municipal board comes back with a ruling, it's still, when they come back with the ruling, then council has to vote on second and third reading still, so it's not. This is just providing the time that if we're gonna move forward with it, then and it gets approved by council, then it's can be implemented, so.
correct.
No, I don't think I don't see why we would have any concerns with that.
Okay, so these dates will move a little bit. Would you like me to send you those dates in an email so everyone's aware of the change?
Please.
Okay. So going back to the proposed financial plan, I'm wondering if council has any other further questions, concerns, comments, or anything they'd like to go through with regards to this. I've already been through it once before. Not sure how much time you've had to review again the changes. Sometimes they're a little bit difficult to see in this particular format that the province forces us to put it in, but
Any comments? I have just a couple of comments, I think, for more or less ensure that everybody sees that visibility, so I know thanks for everything we've done so far, Laura, and so looking at you know, as where we're at with, there's still a few little moving parts here, but showing a small decrease in the municipal mill rate down to 56.942. I think what people which need to look at is that even though we know and we talk about costs continuously increasing and the cost of services and goods increasing, utilities, where you really see some of the benefits or where you're seeing some of that relief is that if you go into the tax example page, where it shows that in 2025, we were paying, you know, debentures of 2.788 for the multiplex and the wellness center, and those closed up in 2025. So that gives you a bit of relief on your taxation, right? And then I think the other thing that the community needs to see is that we have also increased our reserves. So, you know, we put a 1.629 increase on mill rate going to reserves. So overall, that's a good position to have us in. But if you look at overall on next, so down a little bit on, I think it's called page 3, you see that the municipal impact on the municipal mill rate, the 41.452 is going up a little bit. Yeah, so I think it says it's on page 3. So it does go up a little bit to show that. So it's good to sort of just see where that is, and you can kind of see that's a good chart to show where your debt is really reduced, and also where your overall assessments have changed in your municipality by, you know, it raised by about $600,000, I think Laura had mentioned. So no, I think we're in good position, good shape. Again, we keep working on the things inside that we control with regards to managing our costs, which I know our administration do all the time, and our staff. I think we're in a good spot as a community. So I'm happy with where we're at.
there's just a little bit of cleanup I need to do
Yeah.
on the last pages for the 5-year capital plan after some changes were made, taking a few of the capital projects out. So once I get that cleaned up, of course, that will be ready for the public hearing, and going to the board, so.
And I think as we mentioned, Laura, in the past, you know, I think we wanna do the investment in capital, we wanna, but we really need to have a realistic, you know, 1 year plan, but also a realistic 5 year plan for capital, because if we're chasing grants and we're trying to drive reserves, you know, I think we can all agree there's some things on that plan that are not likely to happen anytime soon. And so, you know, I think we should really have a really good look at that, for maybe the next council, so that they have a better idea. And it's something that doesn't impact directly taxation anyways, the 5 year plan, but it does paint a better picture and helps you plan to increase your reserves if necessary, or to prepare to go after grants.
Administration can have meetings with management during the year to get that into.
Yeah, no, and that's something you can be doing all the time.
Yeah,
And then the only other thing is, you know, the CDC has put in their budget, nothing's really changed there. You know, I think there was you mentioned, the last time we talked, Laura, there was a accounting or how we were putting wages.
yeah, the wages on the CDC budget don't match what I had calculated them to be, so I would like to go with my estimate, which is about $86,000.
Please adjust.
Okay, the support staff person, I assume that is for the contract that was signed? That contract that was signed, is that what this is for?
Yes.
Okay.
For Jackie.
Yeah, if we end up using that, that's an add.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And the operation grant, which is pretty similar to last year.
Yeah,
Are we having a summer student meeting?
no, this is there is still a partnership with UCN, but I think it might be a little bit different this year.
So in our budget, I have my wage numbers for
Yes,
CDC.
Please do that.
That's what's already in there, built into the
Okay.
number you see today. I have my wages.
Yes.
that I calculated
No,
in there.
perfect.
Okay. So yeah, as long as council's fine with the CDC budget, I know CDC didn't come to present to council this year.
They can, if that's required, I just,
Yeah,
I think you could,
it's just that in the past, we have had
Yeah.
people come prior to kind of finalizing things.
yeah,
The only other meeting that I would anticipate us needing to have now is one final meeting, maybe before the public hearing, which is either going to, like, the finalized version of, it's either gonna be what you see today, and again, deal with any questions, concerns, comments that you may have that after you've had time to dig into it a little deeper, or it'll be the change for the special service levy if it is approved by council.
Yeah.
And municipal board.
Yeah.
So that will be the only final piece. All the school tax has been, we received it, it's all in there, it's all updated. Everything
good.
is essentially good to go.
and that's, that was actually surprising and good news on our side, but I guess bad news on the school side. I mean, due to the challenges they have with getting enough staff to operate the school, they had a significant surplus this year. From what I understand is when school divisions can have a surplus, they can't carry over their surplus. It automatically gets absorbed into the provincial coffers. So I think Graham and Trevor have done a great job of sort of reducing that and holding the line. And if you look at that one chart where it shows our school levy over the period of time, you know, they've done a really good job, and there hasn't been any really significant increases on the levy side, so that's good. You know, you look at Brandon and other communities right now are looking 10% across the board.
Yeah, they are seeing a significant increase in school taxes, where ours have gone down.
Yeah. And I think part of that helps with the, does that also help with the assessment changing a little bit as well?
It possibly, yeah.
Will the library be presenting their budget?
No, we haven't asked the library to come and present. Currently, there is an agreement in place which dictates the amount that we're giving to the library as a grant. And if we reduce that in any way, shape, or form, that it impacts the grant that they receive from the province. So that 1 year that and it's not the current director, it was a previous director, had requested $350 less than the year before that. It impacted their provincial grant by $6,600 a year for 2 years. So that ends up being $13,000, which is significant for the library to lose over a 2 year period. And so we're keeping that at where it needs to be in order for them to receive that provincial grant at its max.
I was just hoping that they would come with any projects that they had.
As far as I'm aware, I don't think there's any projects, but is there a counselor that's present today that sits on the board?
Yes, I do sit on the board.
Oh,
As has been discussed, there's been some problems with quorum,
oh,
so there would be a discussion on better held. elsewhere.
okay.
And I will be looking
That's
at
her.
the
Yeah.
just with the Byron, to change some numbers.
That's the amended one. So yeah, we're giving them the amount they need in order to
Okay.
receive that full funding, which is necessary for them to operate.
Laura, one of the, do you have a question? Oh, Laura, one of the big expenses of a municipality would be labor.
Mhm.
So when you look at the number of positions we have, are we, like, do we have a big shortage? Are we sort of hovering around average vacancy rates, higher, lower?
I would say our vacancy rates are slightly above average that I've seen over the last 5 years, and it appears to me that it's been that way for maybe the last 6 months or so. And the way we budget is based on prior years and multiple years comparisons of vacancies, so that if we do know there is going to be, or we can anticipate that there's going to be some vacancies there, because there always is. That is built into the
No,
budget,
okay.
so that we're not budgeting at complete 100% full labor, because that's just not,
Oh, not
Feasible.
realistic, yeah.
so that is taken into account during the budget,
Sort of similar to the approach that you've taken with the RCMP.
correct?
Because, I know we have, Chris as our citizen, our lone citizen here today, but for the RCMP, the same sort of issue is that if we budgeted based on a full complement all the time, we would be collecting way more taxes than we actually need. So it's, I guess we've approached it as being a little bit conservative, but if we don't budget enough, we will just deal with it in the next following year. And I think Laura's done a great job estimating where we're at today, so. So
If we
that,
would have used the full amount that they
3.8.
anticipated, it was roughly around 3.7 instead of $3.2 million in last year's budget for full complement, so.
Yeah, I guess that's one thing I find kind of frustrating is each year we hear, oh, we couldn't get these done because we were short of manpower. Oh, we don't have enough people. And yet we don't have managers really coming forward with, hey, I need to hire 3 more general laborers. to have
Well,
a
it's not-
pool."
Necessarily about hiring more general laborers, it's about covering the pool of people that is already pre-existing. So if there's been 3 general labor spots vacant the whole entire year, in and out, like not necessarily the whole entire span, then that's what I think is creating those gaps and those problems that they're running into. It's just that the turnover is, sometimes it's difficult to compete with other entities in town that are paying more.
mhm. No, and I think, I've heard a number of, that floats around about 200 or 300 open jobs within the community right now throughout. When I say the community, I'm talking about the PAW and Opaskwayak and, the NRHA and all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of open jobs within the community.
Gives people options.
Yeah, I know for sure. Again, it gives some, you've got some pretty high paying employers in town looking for people and general laborers that they're struggling with as well, so.
Yeah.
Okay, no, this is good. I think it's, to summarize, I think we're in a good spot. I mean, we've got low debt, and we're utilizing that sort of benefits of having less debenture payments to cover some of the costs that we've had increasing, but also increase our reserves amount. So I think this is a good stuff. Any other questions from council? All right,
Everyone's good with it.
we're all there.
So unfortunately, I can't anticipate the date for another meeting, and I'll just have to keep you informed as I get informed from the municipal board with regards to that special service levy. But again, once I hear from it, I will definitely contact council right away so that we can get our meetings called and get everything finalized as soon as possible.
Yeah, and hopefully we can sort of get that whole idea about moving forward with those projects that we got those, grants for, but also that we can get. I know ACAP sort of funding, we're supposed to understand what's going on with that in the next while, so, because I think he said that they usually April or May.
Yeah, I think so, is when they decide on what projects are being
Yeah.
approved, so we should be able to hear back from that fairly soon, once we get kind of past budget season and
Yeah.
year end, and I can get everything to the auditors. Then I'll start moving forward with getting the debenture set up for the recreation. That won't, of course, be implemented into this year's budget, that's more for
Yeah.
next year's, so.
And then and then I guess we could probably start letting the community know what things we're doing, like paving in town and projects that are going on, so. So people understand that.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get to the table early this year and not at the end, because I know they're talking about the recreation stuff, but. I think there's the tennis courts, the basketball court, and the pickleball court that's still owed from last year, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's my understanding that they've already been in contact with the paving company and they are gonna be here at the beginning of the season to get that finished up.
Yeah.
So,
And then the other thing that, I think is close to all of our hearts here is that museum doesn't turn into the Skippy Owl, so. We did have that investment and a commitment from this council to move forward with. Doing the repairs necessary and ensuring that the building is maintained the way it should be maintained. So, I just wanna make sure that. The staff doesn't look at us as waiting for something, we're not waiting, it shouldn't be waiting for anything for council to get that, moving forward.
okay.
All right, somebody got a motion to adjourn? There's none. Councilor Allen, thanks, have a great day. Did you learn anything? Oh, sorry, good to see everybody out there.